Q8202. What is the minimum number of flight attendants required on an airplane with a passenger seating capacity of 333 when 296 passengers are aboard? A. 7. B. 6. C. 5. The correct answer is A. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, the minimum number of flight attendants required on an aircraft is based on the passenger capacity of the aircraft. For aircraft with a passenger capacity of 333, the minimum number of flight attendants required is 7. The FAA requires that flight attendants be trained in emergency procedures, such as evacuations and first aid. They are also responsible for ensuring that passengers are seated and buckled up, and that carry-on luggage is properly stowed. Flight attendants play an important role in the safety of air travel. They are responsible for the safety and comfort of passengers, and they are often the first responders in the event of an emergency. 9339. A pilot, acting as second-in-command, successfully completes the Instrument Competency Check specified in 14 CFR Part 61. How long does this pilot remain current if no further IFR flights are made? A. 12 months. B. 90 days. C. 6 months. The correct answer is C. According to 14 CFR Part 61.57 C, a pilot who has successfully completed the Instrument Competency Check specified in 14 CFR Part 61 remains current for 6 months if no further IFR flights are made. The FAA requires that pilots who fly under IFR conditions maintain their instrument currency by completing a certain number of IFR flights and approaches within a specified period of time. This is to ensure that pilots are proficient in flying under IFR conditions and can safely operate their aircraft in all types of weather. 9344. To satisfy the minimum required instrument experience for IFR operation, a pilot must accomplish during the past 6 months at least? A. 6 instrument approaches, holding, intercepting, and tracking courses through the use of navigation systems in an approved flight training device/simulator or in the category of aircraft to be flown. B. 6 instrument approaches, 3 of which must be in the same category and class of aircraft to be flown, plus holding, intercepting, and tracking courses in any aircraft. C. 6 instrument approaches and 6 hours of instrument time, 3 of which may be in a glider. The correct answer is A. The reason is that to satisfy the minimum required instrument experience for IFR, instrument flight rules, operations, a pilot must demonstrate proficiency in specific tasks and maneuvers. These tasks include instrument approaches, holding, intercepting, and tracking courses using navigation systems. Option A states that the pilot must accomplish 6 instrument approaches, holding, intercepting, and tracking courses in either an approved flight training device/simulator or in the category of aircraft they intend to fly. This option aligns with the requirement for demonstrating proficiency in these specific tasks within the past 6 months. Option B mentions 6 instrument approaches, 3 of which must be in the same category and class of aircraft to be flown. However, it does not explicitly mention holding, intercepting, and tracking courses. 9342. What instrument flight time may be logged by a second-in-command of an aircraft requiring 2 pilots? A. All of the time the second-in-command is controlling the airplane solely by reference to flight instruments. B. 1/2 the time the flight is on an IFR flight plan. C. 1/2 the time the airplane is in actual IFR conditions. The correct answer is A. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, a second-in-command, C, may log all of the time they are controlling the aircraft solely by reference to flight instruments, regardless of whether the flight is on an IFR flight plan or in actual IFR conditions. The FAA defines instrument flight time as time when an aircraft is operated solely by reference to instruments under actual or simulated instrument flight conditions. This means that the SIC can log instrument flight time even if the weather is clear and there is no need to fly by instruments. The SIC is responsible for assisting the pilot in command, PIC, with the safe operation of the aircraft. This includes monitoring the aircraft's systems, communicating with air traffic control, and assisting with navigation. The SIC must also be prepared to take over control of the aircraft in the event that the PIC becomes incapacitated. 9342-1. An example of air carrier experiences a pilot may use towards the 1,000 hours required to serve as PIC in Part 121 is flight time as an SIC. A. In Part 121 operations. B. In Part 91, Subpart K operations. C. In Part 135 operations. The correct answer is A. According to 14 CFR Part 121.436, a pilot may use flight time as an SIC in Part 121 operations towards the 1,000 hours required to serve as PIC in Part 121 operations. Part 121 is the set of regulations that govern the operation of scheduled air carriers. Part 91 is the set of regulations that govern the operation of general aviation aircraft. Part 135 is the set of regulations that govern the operation of on-demand air carriers. The FAA requires that pilots who want to serve as PIC in Part 121 operations have at least 1,000 hours of total flight time, including 250 hours of cross-country flight time and 100 hours of night flight time. Of the 1,000 hours, 500 hours must be in actual or simulated instrument flight conditions. Pilots can use flight time as an SIC in Part 121 operations towards the 1,000 hours required to serve as PIC in Part 121 operations. However, they cannot use flight time as an SIC in Part 91 or Part 135 operations towards the 1,000 hours required to serve as PIC in Part 121 operations.